Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Conqueror's Mentality, a space where women can elevate their experiences through observation and conversation. And we're really more on the interactive podcast. So feel free to check out our social medias and work through all of our challenges together because that's what it's all about. We're so excited for you guys to be joining us to talk about how do we heal through a painful experience or and get out of that space. So before we get into all of that, I just want to check in with you, sister. How are we doing today?
We are okay. So my plant actively was trying to kill me. So for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty much allergic to
Everything.
yeah, you know. And so for a while I've been sneezing and coughing, and then come to find out it's from the pollen in my plants. So I just spent, the last 15, 20 minutes, probably not the best decision, cutting up the flowers. So forgive any sniffles, sneezing, because there is active pollen in my little studio here. But outside of that, it's an interesting season in the sense that I have to get used to what does it mean, and I'm really glad to dig into this episode or topic today. But as the seasons are changing, fall has always been one of the hardest seasons for me because I'm a summer baby through and through. And so this shift in transition just mentally gets challenging. So I've been exhausted because of no vitamin D and no iron as well. And so, I'm now that I'm in a better space mentally, create habits for me to succeed this winter is what I'm trying to start to do. But that seasonal shift for us summer babies and for us island people, yeah, it hits differently. Exhaustion is hitting. Um, just trying to
No.
manage through that.
I totally get that because I had to put like reminders, like as I am embarking on going back to work, like I had to set a like self care reminder. Like these are the things that are non negotiable that I have to get done each week for me to be sane for the next week. So it's as small as exfoliate your skin to as big as okay, we need to meditate in the morning or stretch or do some kind of service to ourselves before we get into work and worry about other people.
Precisely.
It's a true fight, especially in the winter. We were just talking about it. It's just terrible. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Soon, very soon, I will be able to say, "Oh yes, I'm spending my summer in."
We gonna be little snowbirds.
How are you doing?
Oh, I am good. I'm enjoying my last couple days of freedom. Yay. No, I'm really excited to start working again and getting back to um a space that I really enjoy. Like I do enjoy working and I do enjoy having somewhere where like I'm a kind of like a cool person, like it's only so much I clean this for people to be excited about. These are like the spaces where it's actually fun and you can,
Yeah.
mess around with your coworkers and bond and build relationships. So I'm excited for that aspect. Um, but yeah, other than that, just been trying to not kill my plant. That's really the thing. I accidentally, like, put tap water in a plant that's supposed to have distilled, wondering why it was browning. It's okay. It's a Dracaena, but I call her Betty White. Yeah. Yeah, and she was looking very brown, and I was like, I don't think that's what our plan was, but it's okay." We snipped off a leaf, and she's come back. We've replanted a lot.
It's interesting that plant seems to be a theme because I feel like planting season, the sprouting, pruning season, in my head, I think a lot about healing. And I think
Mm,
a lot. I think, I have a few poetry pieces that, are around this idea of, or in my season of healing, a lot of the ones that I have been centered around planting, and pruning and breaking and all of those things. And so I think it's so fitting. So
Yeah.
I am going to kick us off asking questions today because I definitely want to hear what you've got going on your end.
Yeah.
And so, we know that pain healing it's interesting. Actually, I want to ask you, what does healing look like to you? What does it mean to be in a season of healing? I'm curious.
Um, a healing season for me is never comfortable. It's very painful. And I learned that from one of our sisters. She's like, when you're growing, you have growing pain. She's like, unfortunately, growing requires discomfort, requires a sacrifice, it requires a change. And that process is not going to be easy or it's not going to be comfortable, unfortunately. And so you just have to experience it and go through the challenges. But every time I'm going through like a difficult time, I'm like, oh my God, I'm growing. I have to be growing.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just life, and sometimes you really are growing and you're developing into a new person. But that's kind of what it looks like to me. Now, what does growing or healing mean? It means a level of peace for me. So when I'm at complete peace, I know I have healed from a situation when I can just look the situation in the eye and be like, yeah, I really don't remember that, or I'm not really experiencing that anymore, or I look back at it as a funny story. That's one of the things I noticed. Like if I'm making a joke about it, totally healing.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Healing is for some reason it's a nasty process in my head. There's nothing cute about healing in my genuine honest opinion, at least for the experiences that I've had. Does beauty come out of it? Absolutely. Does peace come out of it? Absolutely.
Mhm.
But it's a lot of seeing the ugly sides of life, seeing the ugly sides of you. It's interesting because doing some reflection, and I was going through a healing season, especially after a 7-year relationship and an engagement. I was looking at how I went through that healing process, and I was like, "Girl, what was you doing?"
What do you mean, what were you doing? Like, do you look back and be like, "Oh, that was definitely out of my character," or were you like, "What are you doing," in the sense of that actually didn't help me with healing?
It felt like it was out of my character, but it helped with my healing process. It very much helped with my healing process, but it was just like, I don't recognize that person that was like broken. And so almost felt like helpless. And so it was just like I was drinking a lot and I was outside. And I don't like being outside. You know that. And so, and so like it was just like, I remember a conversation with my cousin, and I was like, my fear is that I'll be jaded. Just don't want to be jaded. Don't want to go had some. That's such a dark thing for me to say because me, I'm not a jaded person. I'm not even,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think. So it's just like conversations that I've had during my healing season. It was just ugly. It was just like,
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Do you look back on the photos or videos of yourself and be like, "I don't," like, it's not a, "I don't recognize myself," it's like, well, yeah, it's a, "I don't recognize myself."
it's interesting because it's more of that when I was in the relationship, not even in the healing journey. In the healing journey, it's funny though, they say, right, like after a breakup, women like get their glow back. They start, writing, getting their other degree. They start writing books. I don't know, like they just completely elevate. Like and I've definitely like, I think there are some pictures in my healing season which are like, is she there? Is there?
Mhm.
But a lot of it was in my relationship. Like looking back at pictures and I'm like, huh, the smile that I have now,
It's completely different.
yeah,
Like, it shows all over your face instead of just on your
yeah.
mouth.
It's interesting because I feel like there are some things that people Like there's healing from things that wasn't good for you, right? And there's healing for things that were probably good, but like maybe like you made a mistake or whatever the case is. Like I think there are different forms of healing from different things, right? And so it's interesting to see because I think there are other ways and other things that I've healed from that didn't necessarily have such an ugly process.
Mm,
But I think that was one of my lowest that I needed to heal. Like it was a complete transformation.
yeah. I was gonna ask, like, does your healing process have to equal the experience that you went through? Like, meaning, like, okay, so if what the pain is, if the pain is harsh, does your healing process also have to be harsh? Or could it be uneven?
Think it can be uneven. I think mhm.
Or is it not based off of that? Or like, is your healing process not based off of the pain, but based off of how big of a jump you will do in the
I think
healing?
it's based off of the growth, right? I think it's based off of the person that you are set to become after the experience.
Gotcha.
I think there are because if that were the case, then healing would be linear, right? Like
See, yeah, yeah, yeah.
but there are so many things, like, I'm still healing from, things parents, like, I've gone through with my parents, I'm still healing from some friendships, right? And so it's not like this, "Oh, this friendship breakup was painful," or "This breakup in general was painful, and now I'm gonna go through this journey of healing," right, that
Mhm.
equates this amount of pain. It's not like a right after effect. I think some people don't necessarily heal until they are ready to face what they need to heal, right? I think some people don't necessarily have to face it head on and like they go through this journey of life and recognize, oh, this is where my joys are. And, I'm slowly healing. I think for me, because of the breakup, that was like, well, I spent 7 years with someone, right? And now I'm not 7 years with someone. Now it's me. I have literally no choice but
Mhm.
to face that, right? Whereas like other people have other things in life that keeps going that isn't such a big shift in their life, if that makes sense. I
I
don't
see
know.
what you're saying. Yeah. Like, they could be done with a relationship and be like, "Okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
just walking away because I've gotten to that point."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What started your healing journey was the fact that the relationship divided or
Resolved.
dissolved. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Does it things always have to happen where you have no choice? Or how do you decide that you're gonna embark on a healing journey, or is it forced upon you? I guess that's my real question.
So I think sometimes God is like, I'm going to remove you from this because I need you elsewhere. Like, I need you to elevate. I need you to XYZ or whatever the case is. And I think there are other times in which God allows you to make the choice of, do you want this? Right? Like, are you ready to make the choice for yourself? And like, for me, the relationship breakup was actually a choice. It wasn't like, it was, am I going to choose to put me first and my desires and my wants first?
Mm,
Am I willing to make that choice?
yeah.
And I would say in that, making that choice, I have healed from so many other things and not just that relationship. Right? Like I've healed my relationship with my mother.
Mhm.
I've healed my relationship with my father. And I mean, that man's my best friend, but he's also my biggest headache, right? But like
Yeah.
that relationship has healed. So I don't think I think there are times in which you have to make a conscious choice to go through healing. And I think sometimes the situation is forced itself upon you, and sometimes you make the choice to exit a situation, but choosing to heal is a choice, right?
You're
Because I think
always gonna have the choice.
you always have the choice to either let it consume you and take you or let it, right? Or not. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, I definitely agree. I have this quote on in my office that basically says sometimes God destroys our plans before our plans destroy us. And when I tell y'all, like, that is so true. Like, I had to keep reading this. That's why it's in my office. But like saying that statement, just let it sit with you for a second and think about the plans that you had or the plans that you had set for yourself. How far did you get? And also, was that an easy experience? Like, I know as
Right.
Black folks, sometimes we be like, okay, we went through this struggle, but we're gonna see the other side. You just gotta keep pushing through, keep pushing through. But sometimes you're creating the obstacles that are in front of you because you decided to do something different. And instead of facing your fears and healing from the issue that is really holding you back, you're over here pushing through, trying to jump over hurdles like you a show dog.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because my pastor, he had said, God will never give you more than what you can bear, but that doesn't mean he won't let you pick up what you were never meant to carry. And I
Say
was,
that again for the people in the back because I think people just think. I thought you were gonna end it on that one. Say it one more time.
God will never give you more than what you can bear, but that does not mean he's going to stop you from picking up things that you were never meant to carry.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we're like, "Oh my gosh, why am I going through this? Like, you know?" But I was like, "I never told you to be in that relationship in the first place. I never told you to take that job. I never told you, right?" And so it's like you wanted to have your own plans. And I was like, "Okay, you want to be planner? Go ahead and do that
Hmm.
because that was your choice." But there are things in which those things sometimes just aren't meant for you. And that was another thing. In the same exact sermon, he said, not every good thing is a God thing. And we see something good and we see something shiny. And so we pick it up and we're like, oh, must be God's blessing me.
No, because the devil brought an apple, a red apple, to Eve,
It wasn't
and
that
that looked real good.
real good.
Look real tasty, man. But I mean it, and I think that's a lot of the time. It's like people when it in reverse, when things go bad, they're like, "Why God? Why would you do this to me?" Honestly, I've been the same way. I'd be like, "Why? I did everything you wanted me to do. Why am I going through this?" And honestly, God had to sit me down and be like, "I did this to yourself. That wasn't me. Because if you didn't do this, that, and the third, and you
Yeah,
would have picked the more difficult route or been more patient,
patient.
you wouldn't have to go through this, but you decided to."
Yep.
I give y'all a perfect example. Remember that one man that y'all know y'all was supposed to let go. How much you went through with that one man. And then for it to be nothing.
It to go nowhere.
For you to not even remember this person's name, where they live. You just remember all the terrible experiences that you went through. You can't even remember the good time.
You lost all of
God told you at some point
that.
he wasn't for you.
Let that man go.
Because you know how I know? Because you didn't act the same way as the person that you want to be with. You don't
Yeah.
present them the same way. You don't bring them out as much. You don't talk about them the same. So that's how I know. You knew that this was not the relationship for you or this wasn't the experience for you, but you still pushed on.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all that to say, I know we all had that experience, so I'm gonna use that. But saying all that to say, once you were done with that relationship, you made a choice. I
Yeah.
am no longer picking up that phone. I'm no longer calling them. They are no longer a priority in my life. Just like with the healing system, not system, but healing process, is I made this choice. I am no longer sitting in this situation. I am no longer accepting this as who I am or the space that I would like to be in.
My question to you is what got you to the point to make that choice? Right? Like when did you decide to get up?
Here's my thing: to get up from the healing, or to
To get up from the pain and to go into choosing to heal and choosing you, choosing what's best for you, right? I think a lot of times it's like, okay, I don't want to leave. What if there is a possibility that we're actually going to work out, right? What if there is this possibility that like my boss might give me a raise this go round, right?
Yeah.
When did you make that choice?
To
Like, what was that? Like, what in you?
see, here's my thing. Imma be honest, and I'm probably gonna resonate with a lot of y'all. I'm very hard-headed, okay? So by the time I get to that point, we have fought for like, I have fought for my life. I've been through all the experiences. There is nothing left to say. It's nothing like, it doesn't matter if it was a relationship, it doesn't matter if it was experiences, but I'm learning now, and I wanna explain why. Why am I like that? Because I leaned heavily on that saying of God doesn't give you more than you can bear. Like, I used to be like, "Oh, yeah, so this was just my assignment." Everything I was going through was just my assignment and something I had to go through, and I always looked at it as, "Oh, Imma learn something after this. Imma learn something after this, or Imma experience that." And it's true, learned a lot, but some of the things is really unnecessary. Like, it was just breaking me down from the inner, like, it
Yeah.
was just something I was not supposed to go through. Now, am I saying I'm perfect? No. Do I have this down where, like, I identify, like, this is something I need to heal from, or I need to recognize that I'm in pain right now? No. Am I learning it currently? Yes.
Mm.
Am I, like, checking in with myself? Yes. So, to answer your question, it's honestly, I have no choice. Every time it is, I have no choice. 'Cause it's either I stay down and I lose everything, or I get up and I'm like, "Okay, this is what we have to do."
In in that moment, is that when your low is, or is your low lower? Like, so, right, like you face this low of I have no choice. And then as you're taking yourself out of that situation, I think sometimes people now end up at a lower point because they're breaking, right? They're experiencing breaking. They're being stripped of their pride. They're being stripped of their ego, right? And do you hit lowers after that initial pain?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
it 'cause I'm a hard head, it's like, so I see the signs, like, that's what I was saying, like, a lot of people see the signs and I move past them. So, like, I'll give you guys a good example. My high school, I was just telling this story the other day. I had a high school boyfriend, and I really even shouldn't say even a high school boyfriend because he was also dating somebody else. So, like, really, is that a boyfriend? Not really. A high school friend.
Yeah.
But either way, I could not let that man go. Now, when it came into the space of like college, like, okay, he's not going to college. I am also going to college. Why I think I could pull somebody, I have no funds
No.
myself. But I was convinced and I was like, "Okay, you can move to Cincinnati. This will be a great experience for you." Regardless of the many of signs that I saw, like, obviously, I'm just saying, like, "Oh, we weren't even dating for real." But I thought, like, I was that girl. Like, I was like, "Okay, I'm just cool. I'm letting this all go." But it kept going to,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I have to talk to you about this," or, "Oh, okay, like, I don't really trust you," or, "Oh, okay, like, you actually don't know anything about me. Like, what are we doing?" And then it finally got to the point where it was just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And honestly, my roommates had an intervention too. But what am I doing at the end of the day? Because relationship isn't serving me. But I'm consistently like every red flag. I'm like, you know what? This is something I have to go through, or this is the pain I have to endure for the love that I am within.
Yeah.
You know, because every relationship doesn't happen without pain,
Mm,
and that's the mindset I was stuck on.
got it.
Anything worth it, doesn't happen without pain. Like, every sport, you have to break down your body, you have to
No.
do all those things. When you're in school, you have to study. Nobody likes studying, okay? No one likes that. but we only specific subjects though. You hit a subject you don't like, you don't
Yes,
like.
I'll give you that.
Like, but you always have to endure something. So I just internalized that, okay, well, I have to go through this. I have to keep going through it. But I think that's a portion of my people pleaser mind because a lot of the things I was going through was like things I really didn't want to go through. But I'm like, well, this is how you have to have a relationship. You have to make sacrifices, but it wasn't beyond the regular sacrifices. So I probably hit probably like 4 or 5 rock bottoms.
Okay.
And then I'm always like, this is my lowest. I'm never gonna do it again. And then you get a call or you get a text and then you right back into it. But I think the more you value yourself, the more confidence you have, the more love you have for yourself, those rock bottoms will reduce. And to the point where you like, I only need one time. I only need one rock bottom and I'm not going through it, you know? And I think that's a sign to say yourself, you're healing. You decided on when to start your healing journey depends on the love that you have for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because when you decide that it's your time to heal, the growth is astronomical. It is the most beautiful thing. You come back like, I can't believe I even changed into that person, you know? But that's all based off of your love because you don't want someone, you know how people say like anger is just like someone holding the power over you. I don't want anyone to have power over me. I mean, only God alone is enough. Okay. He's honestly got too much. I mean, I be like, first of all, we need to have a conversation because the way you be acting sometimes be a little bit disrespectful. I don't know if you're doing it on purpose, but like he probably is. But like, I know I'm hard headed, but can we just deliver the message with a little soft pillow, a nice little landing, or something? But we just gonna have to change up our actions because I can't keep going through this.
No, I definitely resonate with that. It's your level of healing is dictated upon how much you love yourself. I like that a lot
Hmm.
because I think it's being able to recognize that you're no longer accepting this. You're no longer going to operate in this behavior. You're no longer going to accept the bare minimum, right? Like, I think a lot of the pain in which we endure tends to be self inflicted. And of course, there are some stuff that definitely aren't within our control, right? Like our
Right.
upbringing, there are, some just events and traumas in life in which there was no control. But I think oftentimes within the realms of the things we can control, we tend to self-inflict, right? And make these decisions because we didn't love ourselves. And that's one thing that I very much learned in my healing season is to love myself. And that's what I needed to learn out of this, right? Like in
Yeah.
these last few, years, these last few months is what does it look like to love yourself and love yourself to where you just won't accept any and everything.
Can we say that healing requires you to find? Because I'm thinking about it and you making that statement. I don't think there's ever been a healing experience where I didn't learn that I needed to love myself. Now the levels have increased over time and like variation. So it might have been like, oh, I need to love myself and say no. I need to love myself and do this. I need to love myself or feed into myself. It's different variations, but it always ends up there. Cause like even when you lose somebody, it's like, yes, I love them and like I love our experiences together, but I also got to remember what they taught me about me, you know?
I think, I don't know, I think grief, especially with the loss of a loved one, that's a different type of healing. I don't necessarily know if that's always to love myself, but I think it's to appreciate life, right? I think healing comes with some form of love or appreciation, right? Like I think there's always a lesson to be learned, of course, in healing, in my honest opinion, right? Like, but I feel like with grief, Like, when I lost my aunt, I very much learned to appreciate my mom more, to love on her more,
Yeah.
right? Like, I learned to just be grateful for the moments that sometimes it's easy to be ungrateful for.
Yeah.
And that, like, healing process for that specific loss unveils itself at different times. Like, I found out she was a poet. I literally found that out this summer.
Was a poet and you didn't know. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. And so, I think that, like, that's a form of connection, right? And perhaps maybe healing is a form of connection to something, whether that's like healing your relationship with God or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
right? You're connecting to something. I think healing allows for connection to yourself, to others, to God, or to a higher being, right? Like, I think yeah.
But I think that's also a sign when you're getting out of the pain is when you can reconnect. Because when you're in pain, you're unable to connect. You're able to be present. So then you're like grateful for the presence and you're grateful for the connections because of how disconnected you were during the painful process.
Yeah. It's interesting how isolating the healing process can be.
Yes. Because but I think it's isolating because that's our safety. Is to be isolate ourselves.
Necessarily know if it's because of safety. I think there are some things that only like you have to be in your prayer closet to deal with, or you have to be right. Like, I think there are some things where you literally have to face yourself and your demons.
But I think the space is like you're born into this world, regardless of if you're a twin, triplet, you're born into this world by yourself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like every time that's your space, your comfort space is even though like people might have siblings and stuff like that, they don't know what's in your head. I mean, they might, but like I've never been a twin before, but they don't know exactly what's in their head, or they might miss something, or you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like yours. It's like your safe place. Like okay, I'm comfortable with myself, or it's the other side of it. I'm trying to protect everybody else in my life to not spew who I am on them because I don't want them to
Yeah.
also attain some of the emotions that I have. So it's safe because it's either protecting you from others or others from you.
It's from you. Yeah, that's actually really interesting because I was studying the process of a snake and how it goes through its shedding process.
That's so funny. We were talking about that yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, because one of Richard's cousins, he was talking about how he had pet snakes, and I was like, "Ooh." He was talking about like the snake kept getting mites because he was going through his shedding process, but you have to increase the humidity of the space in order to help with the shedding process, but it creates mites in there like bedding. So now you have to do this, and then the snake is upset, so you got to help the snake. But like you're doing all of these things to help them shed, but they're in pain because their skin is sensitive, and other insects are trying to take advantage of the fact that it's
In
a
their
warm
most
space.
vulnerable moments. And
Yes,
what snakes in the wild normally do is they literally isolate themselves because they know that it's a time, like it's a vulnerable moment. And so they'll like lean on rocks to like tear the skin so that it can fully shed. So they'll like literally lean into hard things, right? Or it'll purposely like it's interesting because their visions change too. And so
oh, because it sheds the eyeballs too. Okay, cool,
And
cool.
so their eyes are blue. So they literally cannot see, right? They can't see what's ahead of them. And so they have to isolate in order to break the shedding. And so I think it's so interesting because I think there's a lot of things in life where it's like that. Like even the butterfly, right? Like a caterpillar,
Yeah,
like you have to go through this isolating moment. And seeds often, they have to go through a breaking, right? Like they have to be
yeah.
isolated. Of course, they under the right conditions, can they actually bloom and, and under the right conditions, can a snake really shed its skin without mites or things like that taking advantage of it? But I think with people, it's very much the same thing, right? Like you have to, under the right conditions, can you truly heal and be the person that you need to be? But I think you have to be honest that this is your moment to shed, to
Mm,
let that you need to let go of. This is the moment to lean into the hard things and really recognize, like, hey, I am going to be better out of this. This may suck. My vision may be blurry. I don't know where I'm going just yet, but I
yeah,
have to trust this process and know that I am going to be okay. And I think it's hard because especially in the healing process when you're experiencing such a low, right? That you cannot see a way out, knowing that you're going to be okay and making the choice
to be okay.
to be okay and not accepting anything less. And that's like for me, that's how I made the choice to get up of like, why did I decide, to get up in the midst of my low? I've always had this belief that as long as I'm here on this earth, I've got stuff to do. Right? God is not done
Mm,
with me yet. There is still gifts as long as I have a voice, right? I still have words to speak. As
yeah,
long as I have hands, I still have the ability to give. And so I think, a lot of when I hit my lows and when I hit my rock bottoms, it's like, or, when I'm in the valley, I often think I'm like, okay, like this is hard. It's getting challenging here, but each day that I wake up, I know that God's not done with me, right? And there's still highs to experience. There's still good things to enjoy,
yeah,
right? Like I have people who care about me. I have, things in life that are just so much better than the lows that I experience. That healing is my only option. Like
yeah.
healing is mandatory.
And I think that's where I be at. Like, God eliminates everything else where he's like, okay, so now are you gonna like, are you gonna decide to deal with this or we just gonna keep playing You've exhausted all your other options. Here we are. And that's the only thing left is just to deal with whatever it is.
Yeah.
So honestly, what I took from the story of the snake, honestly, this is what I took, is that healing is a blind process. And healing requires you to understand that you don't know who the version of you
It's gonna
or
come
like
out.
what version will come out of this. And that's when the true healing will take place is when you identify that I'm willing to take that risk
Mhm.
because I know that the person that I will be on the other side of this will be better because even when you're dealing with grief, that's like that's the same mindset is that you're willing to accept that hey, I am okay with being on this earth without this person. And I am actually a good like the person provided me enough things so that I can heal from the situation and I have the all the love and the care within my heart to proceed because I can go on without this person
Mhm.
because that or I might see them on the other side if that's what you believe too. But I'm
Ah,
saying all that to say is that you're equipped with enough that you can handle this situation, and I think that's what the snake was saying too, is I'm
mhm.
equipped with everything I need. I just need a little space to get the healing and the tough skin to prepare me for my next stage.
Yeah, and I'm curious, and I don't know if this is the reflection question of the week, but really, like, I'm curious, how do you know, or what is within you to know that you're going to come out of this better, right? Like, what
I don't think anybody knows. That's the risk. You
really
just that's the part of the risk. You don't know if you're going to be better at the end of this. Because I think that's the thing is that's what prevents people from healing.
is the not knowing?
Yes, because think about it. Like When people lose a family member, they'll be like, "I just can't go on. How am I supposed to go on without this person?" It's the thought of having to deal with life without them. But once they decide that, hey, they're with me, or they accept a version of whatever healing it is, whether it's I will see them again, they are with me because I see them every time I looked at this plant or this animal or things like that, or I
Yeah.
know they're looking down on me. They decided that they can continue on with life with or without them. And they don't know what version of themselves they will be at the end of it, but they're willing to embark on it because of thought process that you made that decision that you can continue, but you have no idea if you can. You're just like, I have to, I have no choice, because most of the time most people embark on their healing journey because they have like children, or they have pay bills, or they have no choice. But also, that's the fear that prevents people from healing in the first place, because it's the unknown. Like, think about it, people are more willing to sit in the pain that they're familiar with.
The devil they know than to deal with the devil they don't know. That makes sense.
Very much so.
So it
Which,
makes
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if I've been hurt,
Mhm.
at least I know what this hurt
I know what
feels
this
like.
pain feels like.
And to jump back to relationship, I know the devil that I know. I don't know these people outside. And what if I can't find anybody else?
And what if I can't find anybody that's gonna love me the way that I deserve to be loved?
What if this is the best I can get?
Yeah.
It's the what if. What if it, like my husband say, what if it's a one bad month? What if, but like that really prevents people from healing. And when you decide, when you throw out the what ifs and just decide like, this is what we're gonna do, that's when the true healing happens.
Yeah.
So the reflection question for this week is, what will you decide to do? Will you decide to get up, or will you decide to stay down? And you, with the reflection question this week, you do not have to say what your situation is. Please understand. But we would love to hear, and it's okay if you say stay down. Like, and you can say, hey, I'm gonna stay down for a period of time, but I know one day I'll get up. That is okay too, because it's real and it's honest and it's transparent. And I was probably a stay down kind of person a month ago. And I was sitting there like, I don't know what getting up looks like, but I know I don't have it. So that's okay. But keep letting us know, keep interacting, keep talking, because that is what's going to get you up. That's going to get you the will and the desire to be up. Because what have we learned today is the understanding of love, patience, and your pure will to decide what healing will look like for you. And is every day is not linear. It is like a soundboard. It goes up and down. So just because you fall in one day does not mean that you will stay down. But try the next day. Every day, try. It's a new day to try. So, if you guys would like to interact with us, please follow us on our Instagram and TikTok under The Conqueror's Mentality. If you ever want to ask us questions or just hit us with some information or a quick question, feel free to email us at theconquerorsmentality@gmail.com. We will see you guys next time. And again, this is the Conqueror Mentality with, oh my God, I never said our names in the beginning. Whoa, this is the Conqueror Mentality with Ave Maria. Wait, hold on. Ah, that's hilarious. We were doing so great with the intro before this. Okay. But yes, I'm Naya, and this is Ave Maria, and we are your hosts for Conqueror's Mentality. We will see you guys next time.